what it do, y'all? It's your man King Eric, the media assassin, and you know I tuned in to a special double-header episode of Off the Cuff Radio. This hour right here is 388th episode, sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, sponsored by Fleetwood and the Cotton Pickers, sponsored by sponsored by Jesse's Boutiques and Core Financial. And I got my host T-Max with the facts in the building.
What it do? OCC up in the building on a Thursday night. And as King said, tonight is another chapter in a long list of legendary shows that we've done with a living legend. This man right here is, one could surmise, really emphasize the modern day style of flashy, fly, and classy in hip-hop. For the golden era of what it was in the 80s and 90s, this man right here has platinum respect and really gave hip-hop a voice that showed that the good life is always attainable and in abundance. To call him special is an understatement. This man is spectacular. Without further ado, Off the Cuff Radio, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud, we are honored, we are privileged to introduce our guest tonight. Special Ed, what it do, man?
Peace and blessings to everybody, man. Just one love, you know. I just want to just send some light out there to everybody listening right now.
Man, look, we appreciate you so much being on the show, man. You know, you are still revered, you are respected, you are a hip-hop treasure, you know, for all seasons, man. So, you know what I mean? So what's been going on with you lately, man? Tell us about it.
Well, a lot, man, has been going on just in general, though. I just got a bit of news, and, you know, there's just a lot going on in the world, period.
Right.
In terms of where we are as a people, where we are as a family, and where we are individually. And I think we need to really, really look closely and, again, not allow outside influence, media, social media, or, you know, just anything to interfere in our goals and our destiny in this life. Period. You know, that's all I got to say, man. Like, you know, we losing our leaders, we losing our families, we losing a lot of loved ones, and it's just a solemn time right now. And even though, you know, we got to live every day to the fullest, we still have to acknowledge the reality, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say rest in peace to Shot G. And
yeah, my homegirl hit me with the news. Yeah,
and I don't like to be the bearer of no type of news, but I'm gonna speak the words into the universe, because it is called for. You understand? My man is not here, and it's called for. I ain't trying to, like, you know, break no news. I'm just, like, feeling away right now, period. You know, hearing that. So, you know, rest in peace, and my condolences to his family. And, you know, once again, young brother, that, you know, our life expectancies have just changed. And I don't understand when it happened or where it happened, but we need to kind of, you know, got to kind of get a understanding of that too. Because if you don't know what's going on, how can you correct it or, you know, move past it?
Definitely, Ed.
So,
and I hear the pain, and I hear the sincerity and the sorrow in your voice, because I know Shock, of course, him, Tupac, you know, they were part of Digital Underground, you know, Money B, that whole clique. And I know this is especially difficult for you at his passing, because you all came up in that same time of the golden era of hip-hop in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, you know, that's your brother in music.
And not just that, but what happens now is if it's not happening in our 40s and 50s due to some health issue, or otherwise it's happening due to violence in the younger generation, because we're losing just as many of the younger artists. Rest in peace to all of them. And
right.
I haven't even got a chance to become familiar with them all and to enjoy them as artists. And then past that now, we go into real life and out here today where, our children are getting murdered every day. And that shit is unacceptable. I can't accept that. If y'all killing little kids every day, come on now. Y'all, what's the difference between an armed and dangerous suspect and a fucking child? You understand? They don't have no training. Like you have other things to use. You have a fucking baton. You have tasers. You have mace. You have all kinds of shit, man. Why is y'all out here shooting little kids like y'all like? You understand what I'm saying? That's disheartening, extremely. I'm disappointed in a lot of shit, and that's the bottom line.
And one thing about it with that, in terms of that, Ed, because when we look at as you said, as Jizza said on his classic in 1995, Liquid Swords, with the track, Living in the World Today, is definitely, brings the Marvin sentiment of, mercy, mercy me. I mean, we are living in a time of where, we look at so much that has gone on. Unfortunately, police shootings and brutality is nothing new. We've seen this pretty much over the past 60, 100, 200 years in this country.
Yeah, but that shit don't make it normal. That ain't normal.
No.
That ain't normal. I know that, but I'm just adding in. I'm just chiming in with you. I'm your ad lib, bro. I'm played right now. I'm just chiming in, bro. But yeah, that definitely don't make it normalized at all. But yeah, it's been going on forever.
Yeah, and one thing about it, it's something that, even in that era, you were in, KRS, Public Enemy, X-Clan, Queen Latifah, so many of, your hip-hop brothers and sisters, MC Light, this was, even shout out to the West Coast, NWA, King T, to stop the violence, the West Coast All-Star Movement. I mean, this is something that, in terms of, self-destruction, this is something that we have always spoken on in the music. And, even now it's like, we've been saying this over 40 years in hip-hop culture of what's been going on in America. Ice Cube really was the one to set the bomb on it in 1990 rather, when he dropped America's Most Wanted, spelled with the triple K, and we were, hip hop has always been
the voice
a
of
street
it's
culture.
always been the voice of what's been going on with Black America.
Yeah, and very politically charged at times too. When you look at it, Ed, from what is going on today, because we want to touch as many bases with you as possible from your illustrious career. From your beginnings to, because you've done so much in terms of actor, artist, having your own label. I guess we have to break it back down to when you first started, and what was the climate of the streets and how hip-hop music was? Because there's always been stuff that went on in the streets, but conversely speaking, the violence, was not necessarily, in terms of the music industry, as prevalent. Unfortunately, 1987 with Scott LaRock being murdered, of course, rest in peace to, BDP's, DJ, one all-time great. Take us through that time from when you started and just the culture of the streets and the music in general.
Man, the streets at those times was really unregulated. Like it was just real dog eat dog out there on the street level. In the music game was, the music game. It was untrampled by the streets. Now It got trampled, but it was untrampled. So the streets was the streets, and the music game was the music game. But I mean, just life in general was just interesting. It was a different time where people acted different. It was more social interaction and about who you were as a person, or out there in the world, not just on a phone or on a computer. Like you gotta be in people's face, saying what you're saying, and doing what you're doing. You understand? So it's a big difference than you doing it in your closet and then you come outside with all your chains on and get smacked up. You feel me?
Definitely. And you coming from Brooklyn. Yeah. And you was from Brooklyn, so you was from one of the real spots. Yeah, so tell us about that during that time.
But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is the images and the stuff that's handed down that they're taking now is come from real life, not just entertainment. So you can do those things as entertainers, but this is real life stuff, whereas you had to be a certain cloth of individual to even adorn that type of stuff or do that in the streets and think that you're going to make it out. No, serious. So it's like now it's a trend. It's sad. So it's like, they think it's cool or easy, and then they come out, and that's why they have these problems out here in the world, because they really don't understand what they're doing and the magnitude of that's involved, especially when it's a lot of money and these kids that these people that even adults that don't have that need to attain and will do things to get it. Like they got to be careful out here, man. That's not even how we're supposed to be moving as a people. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even supposed to be out here shitting on your people, stunting on them like that. Like, that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying?
When do you think it all changed?
Man, I think that they just got carried away with the wanting to show off, wanting to flaunt in your face. You feel me? And and they damn well know where they come from. You don't do that. Or you can't just launch your shit in everybody's face unless that's the game you're playing. And if that's the game you're playing, then you go ahead and play. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But it's not just like all TV and smoke and mirrors. Shit is real too. And that's the era though. I mean, even something like if you have ever been to Union Square, then you understand, like, you don't just go into a spot and act like the biggest thing in the world, this and that and the third. You're dealing with real life people around you, elements and things where you have to move wisely, just period. And even though it was dangerous, people knew how to move then. People knew how to behave. You understand? Now people don't know how to behave. People don't know how to move with respect and honor and dignity. And you get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is what's happening out here, man. We got to stop getting involved in all this trivial shit and build with each other, man, and love each other. Really, because you hating people, you have no idea why you hate them.
I think another problem.
Yeah, you hate them because they live somewhere else.
Too, bro. I think what it is, another problem too, is I think back then a lot of people wanted to have their music to be the point where they show and prove with the music, because they were comfortable on the street level, so they wanted their music to talk.
They wasn't insecure because we never portrayed, like, I don't know, man. We was getting away from that hood mentality, like that, trying to be viewed as a hoodlum or a hard rock or some shit. No, we wanted to be accepted by society, man. Like as members of society, productive members of society. I didn't want to be looked at as no, you know what I'm saying, street thug. Like, come on, man. Who wants to be that? Who the fuck want to be a street thug? Not me.
You know
what's crazy, bro?
Definitely.
You know what's crazy too is the guys that was coming up around that time they had a street background like KRS and Chuck D, but you would have known it just based off the music that they put out. Because they was skilled with
right.
What?
Well, to have that personality or characteristics to even be involved in hip-hop at that time, you had to have a certain type of connection to the street, period, or else you wouldn't have gotten that far. You feel me? That's how we got far in that time, through the streets, through doing what we was doing on the grind in the streets, in the hood, and whatever events, this, that, and the third. You know, I was young, so I wasn't doing clubs and this and that before my career, but I was doing shit in the street, in the hood, and local shit, parties, school, whatever. So it's just a matter of where you are in time and what you're able to do. But it's different now. I could sit here right now while we on the phone, make a little beat on the phone, and then put it out. You know what I'm saying? Before we finish the interview, and you know what I'm saying. And that's it. And you know, if I got vocals on it, even more so. But I could put it out today, tomorrow, Saturday, Wednesday, and it's no longer up to someone else what you do and how you determine how your life and your career is ran. You know, you can as long as you know how to monetize that music, you be all right.
You know, Ed, we're listening, and you're giving us so much history because, like King said, you know, who's an excellent journalist, you know, in his own right, you know, because he's written about this at length. You know, and myself, you know, a hip-hop connoisseur for over 30 years, you know, we grew up in terms of an era where the music was a bit simpler. You know, like you said earlier, the streets and the business were pretty much separated. One thing that I really respect about what you were saying is that you knew your lane in terms of where the trajectory of your career wanted to go. You know, your first album, Youngest in Charge, you know, you released that when you were 17 years old. The only other artists I know who were that young in terms of releasing albums was Rakim at 17 when he did Paid in Full in LL.
Yeah,
you know,
16.
When he did, you know, 16.
Yeah.
Okay,
I recorded the album when I was 15 years old, and then it took about a year to go through the court system, and then I got it made. The single came out. I know I was 16 years old, and then
got you.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's an interesting, interesting how things change and evolve, and we're in a whole new millennium now. So, you know, it's a whole new bunch of set of things and rules and regulations and things about to happen now with this, just in terms of standards, practices, you know, what is deemed as normal every day. Because, I mean, who's selling records, who's selling CDs, who's doing this, who's doing that. Things are changing by the minute. So we just keeping up with the time and everything else. And, you know, I'm working on some things myself. I'll just, you know, wait until that manifests until I really go hard on that and go in. But all in all, just know that I've been studying this game for my life, and I'm a student. So I'm about to go ahead and finish out my little doctorate here.
Okay, doctor.
I'm on my third hip hop doctorate. I draw them shits myself, and I frame them too. Put them up right on my wall.
Okay, so we got we got Special Ed who got his hip hop dissertation. Yeah, man. So I mean, you know,
congrats,
when you look back, yeah, I mean, congrats. I mean, when we look back at your career, you know, and it's just, I mean, did you know from when you first came in the game? Because me and King, you know, we're older, you know, so we remember that era you came up in. We love it. We respect it. When I Got It Made really started to, when did you know that song really could be something in terms of when you really started getting traction with it?
Well, when radio picked it up, that was cool because I knew that Profile did good radio, and they had Run DMC, Dana Dane, Rob Bass, Sweet Tea, and I heard all of them on the radio. So I was like, cool, they got that. But what gets it for me is when you hear it from the vehicles themselves, all over, passing. Not just when it's playing on the air, but when the vehicles themselves are playing the song repeatedly over and over. Like if you go to any crowded area, downtown Brooklyn, uptown, especially Harlem, I mean, and hear every car passing by playing this music, that's when you know what I'm saying? And that's not the radio. However,
right.
the radio still had their own campaign and things going on, and countdowns and ratings and all kinds of stuff. So, we respect the networks, but when the streets and the people actually tell you, that's when you know.
Not to mention,
now, one thing about it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
I would say that had to be some of the flyest thing ever. The B16 and have a platinum record. Come on, man. I know the Ish Talk game had to be crazy, because that's something that really set in the record books.
Yeah, but what we're going to clarify also right now is that as a label, and technically and mathematically, they have never verified or certified any numbers on the album. Matter of fact, I don't even know where the number's at now. I hope somebody ask somebody. Tell me, because it was at right up under 500,000 when it came out. So we here now in 2021. I ain't even got a plaque for that shit on my wall nowhere. I ain't got nothing for that. You feel? I mean, we get our accountants or whatever, but as far as accolades and this and that and the third, I never anticipated any. I never even really looked for any. What I looked for was proper accounting and proper payments, and that's basically it. I mean, but it would have been great if I just made a comment about that. If I do one day get a lot of money, I'm gonna get all the plaques from all the albums, from all the artists that I should have got one from that I didn't. So you got to pay for those if they don't give you one. So I got to get probably like 30 of them. So that should add up. That's like a lot of money to be spending. That's like, instead of me buying a brand new car, I'm gonna go ahead and go pay for my own plaques. So that's why I said when I make a lot. That's why I said when I make a lot of money, because you gotta really, really want that to, spend that nice car money on some plaques.
It's wild, Ed, because when we look at that era, because your record, I believe, came out your debut came out in '89, and SoundScan, if I have my facts right, SoundScan, the actual, database that actually counts albums was not invented until 1991. 2 years
Correct.
later. So so that is something. Right. So
and the single came out at '88.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So
88.
The single came out at '88. So you got from '88 to '91 with no sound scan telling me I'm at 480 something.
Right. What was the business?
So that's the type of antics. That's the type of antics I'm talking about. And I still ain't even got certification now. So what y'all really saying? That in the last 30 years I ain't sell another couple of copies? That's I don't even look. Yeah, all right.
Recording Industry Association of America, give the man his flowers. Make sure that man is properly and appropriately credited and appreciated. Look, we said it on Off the Cuff Radio. Make sure special ed is properly acknowledged.
Man, I've been saying that shit everywhere.
What was the business like back then in terms of contract?
I've been saying that shit for 30 years.
Yeah, what was it? Because we're going to get... But I mean, because we're going to get...
I make light of it. I make light of it because why get... why be bothered? You know what I'm saying? We good. I'm good over here. I'm blessed. My family is blessed. My kids are alive and healthy. And, I just want to say once again, man, my condolences and rest in peace to the families out there losing their young children. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine the pain that they are going through in this time. Like, this is unbelievable, and it's almost like you give them one day, you say, okay, here's something for you, and then you take it all back. You do 10 times worse the next day. They're crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm just sitting over here on the grind, man. I'm Sem Media. I can say that for now. Sem Media. Yeah. So Sem Media is my media company, and when I say media, I mean entertainment and media in general. Period. And I'm doing a lot of great things with a lot of great people, and we'll be making some great announcements coming up soon. Yeah.
Look, we gotta have you on the show to really to give those announcements and everything.
Oh yeah,
when you first,
I'm definitely coming back around, doing around. What this is I had done some features. One with Steezo, rest in peace, who just passed once again. This is what I'm saying. Steezo just passed last year, so it's a lot going on with our demographic and our age range. And we need to pay close attention, you know what I'm saying, just so that it's not, like, normalized as everything else is becoming.
Right.
What it is, man, we got to get on our media game for real.
Yeah. One thing about it is, when you first started in the game years back, did you already kind of have this mapped out in terms of where you really wanted to take your career in terms of having a multimedia conglomerate? Because obviously, as we say in show business, the first act can end, and that's why it's always imperative that you have the strategy and the planning to execute the second act. Tell us about, your journey from when how you just planned everything out in terms of where you were at to now and what you saw along the way.
Well, everything kind of developed into this because you really don't know the end result until you gain more and more knowledge and then understand fully what it is you probably would more than likely want to do. It's about working smarter, right? So back when I was young and I wanted to travel and go everywhere and do this and blah, 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 and women this and blah, 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 it was a different focus. So now it's just a matter of going through life and trials and tribulations and ups and downs and just realizing, well, this is more my speed, this is for me, or this is where I'm interested in applying my energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just through going through stuff, because I first thought, okay, I want to produce, and then I start producing. I'm like, okay, I want to have my own label. Okay, then I want to have my own distribution. I want to have a distribution deal. I want to have a production deal. I want to have a publishing deal. I want to do all kinds of stuff. So it just evolved from wanting first, and then learning and understanding what it is you want, and then going from there. And as you learn more, then you want more, because that's the nature of knowledge. You understand? So I just do life and learning. I'm a student of life, and a lot of people are based their education on the level of education that they've received from an institution, and they need to kind of rethink that whole thing, because half of that shit is like sold garbage. Like, you got to kind of decipher through that to see what is even worth the money you're paying for it. You understand? Because they selling you all kind of fluff. Trust me. Anyway, shout out to all the super talented, super people out there.
Definitely, man. And one thing about it is,
I was going to ask you too, bro. You still tapping into the acting field?
I I was just doing that because it was a part of the music entertainment career path. I'm not traditionally in pursuit of becoming an actor, or ever was in the pursuit of becoming an actor. I don't even really. I get it, but if I act, it's because it was something there for me, made for me, or a great idea. But I'm not about to sit here and go reading for parts. I'm not about to be like in, Hunger Games 7. I ain't doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
Your first appearance in film was 1992's Juice. And we interviewed Jermaine Hopkins a few years back. Great guy. And of course, Tupac was in it. Khalil Khan. Alan Payne.
So what Jermaine Hopkins said?
I mean, he just talked about
we told the story where we was talking about Juice. He told the story. We asked him first of all, was that real liquor that he put in them eggs?
Oh. See, okay, yeah, man, cool. Juice was I wasn't in the movie. I was in the movie, but I wasn't casted for the movie. I did read for it, and that was a whole nother part of the reason why I was turned off to the whole shit. Like, you know what? I make music, man. All that acting shit. So basically, I read for a part and I didn't get it. So I was just up there hanging out with Pac, man. Keep it 100. I was just up there hanging out with Pac, and I told him the story, and he went out and talked to whomever the producer, director guys was, and came back and was like, yo, I got you a little cameo. It ain't no big part, but you know what I'm saying? So it was just through his effort that I even was in the movie, because I was just chilling on the set.
And I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, that was wild. I mean, of course, Queen Latifah, all y'all things.
We got to say this too. That Ed also made history because he was the original "Steal Your Girl" before Trey Songz, man. We had to put that out there for the
Well,
hey,
I just borrowed it. I wasn't stealing. I just borrowed it.
He was like, I just had a little fun. He's like, you can have her back. I'm done now.
I was like, damn, he did Raheem like that, man. He was crushed.
Yeah, shout out to Raheem, though, man. He's a good dude. I know I always say the story, and it almost seemed like, it ain't nothing to him. He's a good dude, man. I just, it's the show business, shit.
Yeah, shout out to Khalil Kane, man. Your second appearance, The Cosby Show. How did that happen?
Just knowing that they was doing an episode where they wanted a hip hop, a rapper character in the show, and I had done some work with Malcolm, and they let us know that was going on. So I did go and I read for that as well, and I did get that. I read for it though, so I went through the whole procedure and did all that. But I guess I did good, and at the time it was great. Chill Mitchell, shout outs to Daryl, Chill,
yeah,
man, Chill from Groovy Chill. So he was on there with me. Alan Payne was on there with us. It was a good
classic
time.
episode. Classic
we
episode.
Had some fun.
For those that don't know out there, y'all, that episode I believe was in maybe 90-91, and that was the episode where Rudy and all them snuck into a teen club and they were underage. And of course, Daryl Chill Mitchell is known for when he was walking up on the chick said, "Excuse me, my fine lady."
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to my brother. That's my brother, man. That's one of my brothers. I love that man like a brother, man. Like, even if we ain't, like, it's not like I talk to all these people all the time, but the connection and the energy that you have with people, man, like, you have to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand it. So that's one of those people, like, I cannot talk to him for however long, but if I call him, man, we right there, like I'm sitting next to him, like, You feel me? Shout out to Daryl, man. What up, Chill? It's my guy, man. Shout out to Hempstead, Long Island, Wine Dead, all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Definitely, man. So, I mean, you go, you dropped your second album, Legal, and after that, what was the experience behind that? Because you took a little bit of time off, and then in 1994, you come back with the bomb. You just, I mean, that opening verse on Crooklyn Dodgers, I mean, you had, I mean, we did not expect that coming, in terms of that type of collaboration. You, Master Ace, and Buckshot. I mean, wow. Take us through that time of 1990 to 94, from where you dropped Legal, was off the scene for a little bit, and then just came back with like just a crazy ass verse that we were like, my man back like he never left.
Well, the thing is that I was always active and activated as an artist, but on the record label, going through all that trauma over there, the music wasn't getting out. So I was always making some shit now, but what happened now was when Tip called and said they was doing that project, and they had got Buckshot and Ace together, we all kind of converged and started working on it. And I was just doing my thing. That's what I did. I had, for all the time that people say, I guess they didn't see me or hear me or whatever, I was still doing shows, but I also had a studio, Dollar Cab Lab in Brooklyn. Shout outs to the Dollar Cab Labs. But, and that's where I was, and doing a lot of production, doing a lot of recording with a lot of different artists. And that's where I done, a lot of the collaborations and productions that everyone knows about. It came out of the Dollar Cab Lab. So that's where I was, just doing things with different groups and recording. So when Crooklyn came out, yeah, but I had a bunch of material during that time that, people didn't get a chance to hear. So fortunately, I still have DAT tapes. So I've been dumping.
We need it.
Yeah, I've been dumping them. I've been dumping my DAT tapes into Pro Tools. So I plan on doing the throwback Dollar Cab Lab exclusive, and it's projects involved in that. Like, it's a lot of people that had been recording with us and came through and have. I got a lot of songs with people, so I'm gonna start exercising those rights.
Yeah.
Well, not even. That's just a pun. But basically, anyone who is no longer with us, I'll be reaching out to their families, and they can, get their shares of whatever participation is going on, and everyone that's here, they'll be with me. So we out here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Ed, now are you going to hit us over the head with like one of those Prince-isms where you got like over 1,000 songs in the vault that's not released yet?
Nah, we ain't doing the Prince thing like that. Because for me, I enjoy working, but I don't just waste my time doing a million things for no reason. So that's insanity to a degree. And we gonna make music though. We can spit music out. I just don't keep recording to hide it. Like, you feel me? But I do have a lot of stuff that we recorded that I'm gonna share, and I'm free to share. You feel me? I think I want to share. I want to share with the world while I'm here. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to wait till I'm not here for you to hear music. I want to hear it while you listening to it. You feel me? Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, with King, this show is his baby. I'm so blessed to be part of this. Shout out to our co-host, along with Fan Name and Chinchilla. This is part of the reason we do this show. This is our life. This is our passion. Because, like you said, we want to give flowers to the legends and, let y'all know that you all appreciate it, that we really, really, really love what y'all do, and this being a platform and an outlet for artists that may not get heard. We want hip-hop culture is inclusive. It is creative. It is an intimate art. It is about people really, really, really being able to touch other people. And that is a blessing from the Most High that we have with this, because we are able to reach out to so many people and really have conversations like this, you know, and give y'all the proper respect and acknowledgement, man. When you see the game today, because obviously social media was non-existent during that time. How is the marketing of the music today different than what it was back when y'all came up?
Oh, it's way different. I mean, before it was brick and mortar, so it was like you had to physically touch whatever point of contact, point of reference, stations, promo people, radio people, etc. Now everything is digitized. So it's a lot easier. You can reach out a lot quicker. You can do a lot more efficiently and faster. So it enables artists to have a different sort of speed in their process. Just in terms of getting radio all aligned, back in the days was like, record pools, calls, all that type of stuff, doing promo shows, going all over the place. Now, radio is not even a determining factor at all. It's really just an illusion that you need it to succeed, so that artists and advertisers still support those platforms. But the real thing is every URL that exists is a network if you utilize it as such. So you just have to understand what you are doing, what you have in front of you, and how to use it, how to monetize it. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, you're on a radio show here. A lot of people now do blogs. Do people know how those things are monetized? Do they know how they can earn a living doing that? If that's what they really choose to do or love to do, do they know how to bring advertisers in? I mean, it's just understanding things when you're doing them or before you do them, so that you know what you are doing while you're doing it. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. It's just a little
and
some people jump in and just do it and think that, click, click, click. No, you got to understand the dynamics of the process of what is going on, what needs to be done, and what the order sequence of events needs to be. Like, you got to really strategize in life. And people don't strategize; they just run out there and shooting.
One thing is what because I remember what RZA said on the beginning of Triumph on Wu-Tang Forever, released in 1997. Remember what he said, King, about how you think you're just gonna get on and get rich? You better stamp out that fucking dream because it takes years for this.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I thought about it like this, and just now it just kind of dawned on me a few minutes ago. Like, the work ethic has changed. The will to work has changed. Like, nowadays, some people don't want to work. They just want to click or something. I don't understand. The actual process of work is removed. Everybody wants to take the shortcut, but you can't. Somebody has to dig the trench. So it's like you could say, "Yo, son, come and help me dig up this $500 million worth of gold." They gonna look at me and say, "Well, how much you paying me to dig?" You feel me? So it's perspective, man.
That's
it's like,
deep. That's deep.
It's like, yo, I'm telling you, come with me. Let's dig up this fortune, and you asking me, well, how much you paying me to dig? For the digging itself, not for the treasure. They want to know about how much you paying me to dig, not just for not what we're gonna share, not the wealth we're gonna share, but the cost of the digging. They rather that upfront change than that longevity. They don't invest into they don't invest into that part, to the long term. It's all about what do I get right now? What's my immediate gratification?
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. King, I don't think we've ever heard anybody break it down like that. That's cold game.
Nah.
Man, I just thought about that shit like
388 episodes. I haven't heard that at all.
Because I've been giving out, a lot of opportunities to a lot of people for a very long time, and it's getting worse to the point where they don't even want opportunities. Everybody wanted the easy way or this way or no way. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, well, I only know the real way. You know what I'm saying? I know one way to get it, and I'm doing it. But now there's all kinds of other options, opportunities, and easier ways to do things. So I guess it's just about we becoming more complacent in some ways, in some areas, rather than do the grunt work.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, Ed, and King, I think artists, because social media, because when you look at, like you said, and me and King we're children of the culture. We've studied this a lot of years, and when you look at it, what we're seeing now is everybody is trying to just put stuff on SoundCloud or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and just throw it out there and just hope it catches. And it's like, no, you really have to, they hope it goes viral, but the reality is you have to get out and meet people. You got to network. You got to politic. You got to reach out to the magazines and see, like Hip Hop DX, XXL.com, Source.com, Feds, Don Diva. You got to reach out. Straight Stunting, shout out to K Slay. You got to really reach out. Yeah.
They also have to understand that, like it even with me, shout outs to MJ, just having someone to facilitate those things or to schedule and set up those things as a PR. You need a PR. You need things. You can't just come out here and think, I'm gonna just go to this site, and click, and boop, 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 and we on. Yeah, you on. You out there in cyberspace. That's where you on. How do you bring attention to yourself, or how do you monetize it? How you going to get them clicks, them streams, them whatever? How are you going to make that happen? You got to get your plan together. Get your strategy.
It's all mathematics. It's all mathematics in this day.
Yeah, and a lot of artists, because King and myself, we talk about this all the time. Like you said, Ed, you got to have a team. And a lot of these artists either think that they can do it all themselves just because of arrogance or because they don't want to pay the money for it to actually have a team to do it. But then, conversely speaking, you have to find people, like-minded individuals who are as dedicated to seeing you win as you should be for yourself wanting to win. And that's, but it's a lot of artists that they try to say, well, I ain't blowing up because people trying to hate. We had Rusty Just on the show about 3 years ago. Rusty just put it straight up. He was like, nobody can stop you from what you're trying to do, but you have to put in the work to do what you're trying to do, and that's just what it is.
That's exactly correct, because your work ethic is going to define you. If you put that hot record out, they can't stop the streets from loving it. They can't stop the streets from playing it. And if the streets playing it, the radio damn sure better play it, or else they're going to look crazy.
And it's crazy, Ed. Yeah, it's crazy because back in the day, radios were pretty much independently owned. You didn't have iHeart, you didn't have Clear Channel. It was not corporate influence. DJs really had the freedom to play what they wanted to play. And now, and this has pretty much been for the better part of the last 20 years, they have a set list, and it's like basically the label, the corporation and the radio station are all in cahoots, and they give them a playlist, and it's like, yo, this is what you're going to play. You know, and like the DJs hardly get any say in what's going to get put on air.
Yeah, well,
you know,
I think part of my take on that is really them understanding the real effect that the programming had, and then now to utilize it and control it is what happened. Because when you put out positive messages, positive energy, empowerment, it causes people to react as such. In the same way when you put out negative energy and negative messages. So that's what happens. So they control the narrative, the directive, the objective. It is basically what it boils down to. You know, controlling the direction things are going in. So now you can only play this. You can't play Public Enemy because that's going to empower somebody. But you can play this because that's going to make somebody kill somebody.
Right.
There you
It's all
man.
about showcasing that balance. It's all about finding that balance at the end of the day. So you find that balance, the culture can thrive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the balance is we have to choose better. That's all. We got to choose what we going to listen to, what we going to support, what we going to spend our money on, not just say, oh, this guy is the top artist because they say support him and, you know, he got $80 million aircraft just so he can fly over you. You feel me? He got an $80 million plane so he could fly over you. Yeah. So, yeah. End of the day, figure out what y'all want to do. I know what I'm over here. Yeah, so my son just cooked for me. My son, Brandon, I got 3 children. My youngest, Brandon, I love him. I love them all. Brandon just cooked some dinner for me, so I'm going to sit down here and enjoy my meal. But all is well. You guys have been wonderful. I appreciate you guys for having me on. And shout outs to Eddie Jr. and Janisha, my other 2 children. And that's why I do everything what I do, you know. I've lived and done all of this stuff and enjoyed all the fun stuff. So I wanna, you know, prepare them for this life and success and you know, living in it. Very interesting world here.
Man, look, much love, much blessings. Thank you so much. Peace and love and blessings to you and your family, man. You know, you're welcome back anytime. We need that. We need those unreleased tracks. Hint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you. The music is nothing. The music is going forth. I'm trying to change the world. I'm trying to do stuff for everybody. I'm trying to do stuff for our economic situation, you know, our conditions and shit we got to deal with. And, you know, we're trying to redefine some things in a sense. So, you know, I look forward to my future adventures. The past was cool. The music was cool. But this is some other, this is some other shit.
Definitely, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
You already know. So once again, thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
All right, y'all gentlemen, be well, and shout out to everybody out there. Just, you know, follow the right choice always. Always follow the right choice, right?
Absolutely.
No doubt, bro.
Amen.
Appreciate you
All
joining
right,
us.
one love.
One.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.